What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today I'm coming in with a hoot and a holler, okay? I'm talking big time video, not a drill. We're talking about Adderall today. Now, this is a video that a ton of you guys have requested from me. I've had a bunch of people ask me, Goblin, have you ever done Adderall? What are your experiences with Adderall? And I've mentioned it here and there, but I've never really made a full video on it. So I decided I'm just going to talk about my experience with the drug as a whole instead of like one particular instance. I'll tell a couple like mini stories, couple little experiences I had with the drug. Either way, Adderall's fucking interesting, kinda not really, but drop a like if you guys do enjoy this video. Expect the 10K special to be coming soon. Once again, just know that I'm prepping for it, and I know this isn't the Q&A, but just wait. Just be patient, all right? Just wait on it. That's all I'm going to say. So, anyways, hope you guys enjoy. Let's dive into it. So, Adderall. Now, my Adderall experiences have gone on for years. I have been an Adderall user before any other drug in my life. Adderall is kind of where things really started for me in the terms of like mind-altering substances, because Adderall, although you don't get fucked up, it's still a mind-altering substance. It's still something that, will alter your way of thinking and like how you feel. So that was my first real experience with a mind-altering substance, like more than once, like on a habitual kind of frequency, I guess you could say. And I first experienced Adderall. I actually got prescribed Adderall back in freshman year. For those of you guys who don't know, I have pretty bad ADD. Like, I have a really hard time staying on topic, and like these commentaries are like, they don't really show that because typically I can stay on topic, but that's because like when I commentate, I don't know, it's completely different. When I make these videos, I'm like in my zone. I don't even know how to say it, but like outside of like making these videos, I have pretty bad ADD. Like I have a hard time playing one game for a long time, or like, doing one thing, or like having one channel art, or like, just stuff like that. It's just like, I like to switch it up. I like new things all the time. I hate the same shit. I hate like, just, I hate the same shit, basically. That's what I'm saying. So like, I had really bad ADD, and I finally got prescribed Adderall. Before Adderall, I was prescribed to like some other shit in middle school called like Concerta or some shit. I think it was like a generic kind of Adderall or something. Either way, it was shitty. So finally, I got my hands on like real Adderall, and it was a hoot. And let me tell you guys, when I first started taking it, I remember my doctor told me that I should stay home the day that I take it, like the first day I tried, or like just take it on a weekend just to see how it affects me. So I first originally started out with just the 10 milligram instant releases, the like lowest prescription you can get, I'm pretty sure. So I popped like one of them shits, and I was like, let me remind you guys, I was a freshman. I had no experience with drugs, never smoked, never drank, never like been prescribed a pill that fucked you up. I'd literally been prescribed like an antidepressant one time, and then like another time I had taken like some Claritin, like shit like that. So like I took this pill, and this shit made me feel weird, man. Let me tell you, when I first took it, it didn't really do what it was supposed to. I just kind of felt like, I don't know. It was like, I felt a little sick to the stomach, and like I felt really like, I don't know, I just felt very uncomfortable. And that's how Adderall's always made me feel. That's why, like, I was never a huge fan of it. For a while, I went through a stint where I did a fuck ton of Adderall, but I'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, so I first tried it, made me feel really weird. I kept taking it, and eventually, like, I just kind of got used to the effects, and it did help with schoolwork. Like, I would take Adderall before school, I'd go to school, I would get my shit done. This was back when, like, I cared about school, kind of. Like, I didn't really, like, I didn't blow dope. I barely even, like, I made YouTube videos, but it wasn't as big a part of my life as it is today. Like, I didn't have a job. I wasn't old enough, didn't have a car, had a girlfriend, and like 4 friends. That's like all I had. Like, I was cool in it. I wasn't like doing shit. So school was like a big part of my life. So like, this was something I genuinely needed. So like for my whole freshman year, like, I didn't really necessarily abuse it. Like, I just took it as prescribed. Not really anything interesting happened. Just like, Adderall just makes you uncomfortable all the time. Like, what I found is no matter how much I took it, how high my prescription got or how high my tolerance got, it still made me feel just as uncomfortable every single time I took it, which I fucking hated. That's why I stopped taking it. But anyway, so then sophomore year rolls around, right? I've had my prescription for like, I don't know, I've had my prescription for a little while at this point, and when sophomore year rolls around, for those of you who have known my channel for a little while, sophomore year is when things kind of started to hoot and holler for me. This is when I started drinking, I started smoking, I started partying, this is when I was single going into this school year. I'd broken up with my girlfriend at the end of the prior year, so I was a bachelor, I was ready to party, and I had all new friends, and I was turning 16 and getting a car. So, like, that year was really what changed shit. Like, sophomore year is really like the catalyst. And like at the beginning of the year, I was taking my Adderall normally. Like, I was just doing what I was supposed to, all that stuff. Winter break rolled around, all that stuff happened. And towards once winter break passed of sophomore year, I started drinking a little bit here and there on the weekends and smoking. And kids would ask me about Adderall because I'd mentioned it sometimes, oh yeah, I have ADD. And I didn't really understand at the time that Adderall was something that people really it was a drug that people would actually pay for and buy. I didn't understand that Adderall was abused. So I was just chilling here, and my friends were asking me, my newfound friends that I met through drinking and partying and stuff. They were like, yo, I heard you had an Adderall prescription. I'd mentioned it to my friends a couple times. It wasn't that uncommon of knowledge. I'd come to school fucking geeked out of my mind and complain to my friends how uncomfortable I was. But at this point, I'd had my prescription raised, so I had some pretty potent stuff. My ADD, the 10 milligrams didn't really do much. My grades weren't really going up, so instead of trying a different medicine, they just upped the milligram amount of my prescription. So I was getting a 30 milligram instant every day and a 30 milligram extended release, and two 20 milligram instants every single day. I believe it was 2. Was it 2? I don't know. I've been off Adderall for a year now. But anyways, so it was 2 instants that I took. I'd take one after school. They would last for 3 hours, and I'd take another 2-3 hours later if I had more homework. And I'd take the extended release before school to get me through school. And then if I needed a second instant release during the day, I would take it because I couldn't focus. At this point, my tolerance was building. I was really starting to hate it because it helped me get my work done, but fuck, that shit was uncomfortable, man. Just the way Adderall makes you feel, for those of you who have done it, you know what I'm talking about. It just makes you feel so fucking squirmy and just shit. So, my friends were asking me about my prescription. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, yo, would you sell me some? And this was a new concept to me. I'd given some, to a friend one time because she said that she had a prescription before, but she didn't. She just asked for 3 pills, so I just gave them to her. I was like, yeah, here you go, shorty, no problem, because she was hot. But this time around, my friends were like, yo, I'll buy some of these shits. And I was like, what the fuck? People buy Adderall? I didn't know this. I was like, sure. And I was I was trying to think. I was Googling. I was asking friends. I was like, how much do I sell Adderall for? Do people really want this shit? And I came to the conclusion that I would just sell them a couple pills for $5 a pop and call it a day. And let me tell you, they ate them up. They loved them. Soon enough, word got out that I had Adderall and a good amount of it, and everyone wanted fucking Adderall from me. Now, at this point, I didn't really like taking it. I didn't enjoy how it made me feel. I didn't like anything about it. So I was like, fuck yeah, dude. I'm plugging this shit, dude. So for a while, I was just straight selling my Adderall, taking none of it. Throughout, I just hiccuped kind of. That was weird, but either way, excuse me. But throughout most of my second semester sophomore year, I was selling my Adderall, barely taking any of it. And then finals came around and I ran up the price. Let me tell you, dude, holy fuck, when finals come around, motherfuckers pay $9 a pill for these shits, dude. Kids are tweaking on it. But either way, so it's also kind of funny to see all the kids you've sold Adderall to, they're all sitting there on finals day, you're in class with them and they're just all geeked out of their fucking minds. They look over at you, eyes wide open, fucking teeth chattering. They're just thanks, Nick. Fucking funny as shit. But nah, so that was really all sophomore year. Then junior year rolled around, and at this point, I still had my prescription. I didn't take it over the summer. I didn't get my prescription over the summer. It was only a school year thing. So September rolls around, summer's over, I get my Addy back. I'm like, fuck yes, dude. I'm trapping this shit. So I took it for the first couple of weeks of school alongside selling a little bit of it. I just wouldn't take as much as I should because I don't know. I enjoyed getting my schoolwork done and I wanted to try to keep up because junior year, the beginning of it at least, was my last ditch effort. That was either I'd get good grades or I bust, and you guys know how that went. I'm supposed to be in senior year right now and I'm not. But anyways, so excuse me, I don't know where I was headed with that, but I was taking my Adderall for the first couple weeks, and I was starting to grow on it. For some reason, I was starting to like how it made me feel. I liked the whole, like, really active, productive, geeked up kind of feeling. And this was also when I was, like, actively in the pub stomping community and, like, somewhat actively in the pubs community and, like, still making videos, and, like, I was leading TapX at the time and shit like that. And, like, I was also... What else was I doing? Because I remember there was like, oh yeah, I remember I was taking a really fucking hard AP government class. I'm talking like this class was probably the hardest class I'd ever taken. And that Adderall was like the only way I ever passed any tests. Like, I kid you not, when I wasn't geeked up, I would not pass a test. So I started taking it a little more. And before I would just take it like, prior to school or like stuff like that. And then, the during school Adderall consumption began, where I would crush up lines on my lunch table and just snort them. I remember, before gym, me and my buddy Kevin, that's what we're going to call him, me and Kevin used to just snort lines of Addy in the bathroom stalls, and, like, then we'd go and, like, rip his vape with, like, 6 Nick on it a whole bunch to get, like, a really fat, like, geeked up head rush, because, like, when you're on Adderall and then you, like, you get some nicotine in you, it feels a little more impactful, to say the least. That's a good way to put it. But anyway, so, we walk around school just snorting Adderall in the stalls and, like, hitting vapes and, like, just getting nicotine rushes and being, like, complete faggots, shit like that. But, like, we wouldn't be the faggots who would blow out our cloud in the bathroom. Like, we'd zero it. We're not those kids. Like, come on. But, we just walk around geeked up all day. We'd go to gym geeked out of our fucking minds. I remember in the gym locker room, we used to pop more Adderall before gym and go lift weights and shit, like, really, really geeked up. Like, I remember we used to, like... We just consumed so much Adderall, like, because it finally grew on me. It was finally, like, and it just gave me a feeling that I could not compare to any other drug. Like, at this point, I hadn't done very many drugs. I'd done, like, triple C's, weed, liquor, and, like, Xanax. And, like, no drug. This was, like, the only amphetamine that I'd had experience with. Like, no other drug had produced this, like, productive, badass feeling that, Adderall was able to give me. So, like, I was popping it, and I was selling it on the side, and eventually, I remember it was like 3 days into November, I'm pretty sure, of like 2015. My mom walks into my room with like a 3/4 empty pill bottle, and I knew immediately what she was about to say. Because what I was doing is I was just going in, like, she gave me Adderall every day, right? She gave me the amount I was supposed to take, but she didn't, like, really check on the pills or anything. So I would just go into her bathroom after she, like, left and just take more Adderall and bag it up and, like, bring it to school with me, and, like, go sell it or, like, take it or whatever, So my mom comes in my room, like, 4 days into the month, and, like, fucking 60 pills are missing. And she's like, she just looks at me and she's like, Nick. And I'm like, what? And she's like, where the fuck is the Adderall? She's like, you're never getting this shit again. And I'm like, oh, fuck, dude. And then, like, I remember, like, she was really pissed at me, and I had family over a couple days later, and, like, we were all at the dinner table eating, and I asked my mom if I could go out with friends, and she was like, no, you're grounded. And, like, I was like, why am I grounded? Because she didn't tell me at the time I was grounded for the Adderall thing. And she just, like, she looked at me and she's like, why? And when your parents do that at the table and all your family members are asking about why you're grounded, and your mom's just spilling the beans, just giving them the gossip, giving them the sweet juice on you, like, that's what was happening. So my whole family knew, and it was fucking, oh my god, dude. Fuck Adderall. That's all I gotta say. That's all I really gotta say about Adderall in this video, guys. Don't really have too much to say about that drug. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. Drop a like if you did. If you guys have any similar experiences, let me know in the comment section below. Would love to hear from you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.